What's up, everybody? And today on Tranquill Radio, we have news from Hollywood Undead, a new supergroup forms, and Sharon Osbourne stoops to a new low. All this and more coming up on Tranquill Radio. What's going on, everybody? This is Tranquill Radio. I'm your host, Sean Ryan.
And I am Jimothy.
And today we've got plenty of news. Let's just kick it off with Hollywood Undead. Jim, you want to take it?
Yeah, so HU dropped a surprise EP recently on the 2nd. There are new EP songs.
5 tracks.
5 tracks. 2 of these tracks they had released over the past year as singles. People kind of knew this was coming. They just didn't know when, and it's out now.
It's not as aggressive as normally they would.
True. It's also more serious subject matter. I mean, they're definitely known for running the gamut from more personal, serious songs to like more their kind of more jovial, fun songs. So this is definitely a more serious take on it.
In a quote released from Hollywood Undead, it says, "We tackle darker subjects such as life, death, and suicide. As a band, we try to convey the message of hope along with this project, specifically redemption," says Johnny Three Tears. Johnny Three Tears?
J3T.
I'm Shawnee Three Balls, and this is Jimmy Two Nuts.
Well, they got all the members have their characteristic name. Charlie Scene and DeCurls. The groups, they got a bunch of characteristic names, and that was also kind of brought out by the fact that they all kind of wore masks and things like that too. And a big part of this kind of new reveal and promo shots is they took all the masks off and they're just doing it without. And it's up to speculation now. Are they just done with the masks? Is it just for this promo event?
Are they just doing it live?
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Right.
Are they still going to keep those on live?
Yeah. So I guess that'll be the scene. They're going to be touring soon. They're coming to Cleveland in March. I think tour kicks off February for them.
Again, this album, they wanna stress that this is it's an album to help people that are going through any kind of difficult time.
It is. Well, it's an EP. Like they have 5 albums. Their last album, V, was their 5th album. I actually gave it a listen just before I came over to air the episode because I didn't have a chance to listen to it. I mean, it's all good stuff. I mean, like I said, like 2 of the songs they'd released previously, and I wish Colgate was here. He could speak to it because he's
Coley's a huge fan.
Right, like literally has HU tatted on the side of his arm.
Does he really?
He does.
You guys had opened up for him a long time ago, right?
We had done that. We and there's a lot of drama that went in the backstory of this too, like because the original, I don't know how much you know about the back of the story of the band.
I know Deuce was kicked out.
Yeah,
that's all I know.
Deuce was the original lead singer, if you will. He left. He was kicked out after Swan Songs. It was funny. In Trap House Rave, Deuce released a diss song.
Your band, Trap House Rave.
My band, Trap House Rave. As Trap House Rave, Deuce released a diss song to HU after they had kicked him out. And in response, Colgate, as a member of the HU Army, wanted to respond to that. So, as Trap House Rave, we made a diss response to Deuce's Story of a Snitch with Story of a Bitch.
That's cute.
Right? It's still on YouTube. If you really care enough, you can go search for it.
Yes, but Hollywood Undead, they will be touring with Cypress Hill coming up next year in February. I believe Cypress Hill is they're even coming to Cleveland in March, I think.
Yeah, correct.
They did a song with Be Real.
Right, Black Cadillac off of the R5.
Their last album.
Their last album. Expect a special guest appearance by Be Real, doing that song live because that's what you do when you tour with a band you just did a feature with.
Okay, and on to our next story. We have a new band called the Sleepkillers. Now, this is something of a super group. I don't think it's that super. It's more of like the Robin of super groups, not
Right.
What's Robin's fucking what's his show? Teen Titans?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is more like Teen Titans, not the Justice League.
Not even the good Teen Titans. They remake of Teen Titans.
Limp Bizkit has yet to put out a new album, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. Expect Tool to actually put out a new album before Limp Bizkit does. But their bassist Sam Rivers, he has formed this group with members of Puddle of Mud and Saliva. And
right.
As you described it.
It's literally like, for those familiar with the Cleveland scene and Mushroom Head and all the bands that have filtered out of Mushroom Head, it is literally the same idea of the Jacksonville music scene where you have got bands like Saliva, Puddle of Mud, Limp Bizkit. It's all very incestual, and they're all just like doing random projects with each other, and that's what you get. So you got Sam Rivers kind of leading this thing with Damian Starkey, who you can claim who was in Puddle of Mud, who was literally not part of a recording, but literally part of the band for like a year, probably touring and things like that.
Yeah, probably quit because of Wes is a...
Right.
Well, he's sober now, but for how long?
Ish,
but he was a fall down fucking drunk.
But he had other bands. He had a band called Burn Season and Society Red, who I listened to, which is basically your general variety of radio rock, even more watered down than the stuff that actually makes it to radio, usually. And then you also bring in, you got Adam Latif, who is also a partial member of Puddle of Mud for like a year in their run. But fairly notable, is Bobby Amaru. Maybe if I butchered that, whatever. He's the current vocalist of Saliva, and he's playing drums for this project. So, I mean, that in itself is... If you got Sam Rivers and you got Bobby, who's the new lead vocalist of that, those are at least somewhat notable guys. These other two guys are literally like second, third string musicians of that scene.
Just the other day, Sleepkillers released a single called Dirty Foot to Loudwire, another rock news channel, and Sam had this to say, quote, "We picked Dirty Foot as our first single because we feel like this track that embodies our sound the most on this album. It's got the melodic vocals mixed in with all the heaviness, and that's really definitive to what our sound is. A tug of war between the two most powerful things in this world, love and hate."
Now, did you have a chance to listen to it yet?
I did.
I listened to it too, and I'll say this. I mean, it's radio butt rock, basically. But I will say that I love Sam's bass tone. I think the bass sounded fucking phenomenal on it, and I wouldn't expect any less from him because he's a musician that cares about his tone, as I know just from years of following him with Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, yeah, there's nothing that really wowed me, personally.
Yeah, the lead singer, he didn't really bother me. He's just, it's an average kind of thing. I would love to play it for you, but I mean, YouTube's really strict about us playing videos, so you can just search Sleepkillers, Dirty Foot. It's Sleepkillers is all one word. And that's all we got on that story. And now to our final story of the day, we have Sharon Osbourne. She recently revealed that back in 2016, she had suspicions about Ozzy and his infidelity. If you followed anything with Ozzy, you did find out that they were planning a divorce. It was going to be this whole big thing because she found out he had been screwing around on her. Right. Behind her back. And it came to light with, she figured this out because Ozzy sent Sharon an email that was not intended for Sharon. And she figured it out. And so she drugged him. He was going to take his sleeping pills for the night. And then she put an extra 2 in his drink or whatever. And then just had him mumbling, rambling. And he basically, without his knowledge, confessed to the whole thing.
First of all, God bless her for understanding that man when he's mumbling. When he is mumbling for him being mumbling.
How can you understand him when he's sober and alive?
Right.
And then even further into like half asleep abyss that he would probably be. Like how maybe she didn't hear him right.
Right?
She goes on to say, "I was a broken woman. He sent an email that was meant for this one woman. Then he took his sleeping pills. I put an extra 2 in his drink. I asked him about everything and everything came out." She continued, "He would have never told me the truth ever. He was ashamed, afraid. I knew how long. I knew who it was. I knew what he was thinking, and then, you leave." That's basically the slow and skinny of the story, so this is just more my opinion. I really hate her for doing that.
Right.
I really hate her because if this were to be like a guy doing this.
Yeah, if it was the other way around, if Ozzy was questioning Sharon.
Everybody knows what's going on in Hollywood right now, and
right.
like the smallest thing will get you fired.
Oh, yeah.
But she still got her show. And, like, I mean, if it were a guy, it would have been just totally, he would have been fired. He would have been publicly humiliated, disgraced. Right. No one would fucking accept his calls anymore. He'd be on the outs completely. And not to say that Ozzy isn't doing something bad, though. I mean, I understand the infidelity thing. And then back in the 80s, he was all drugged out and drunk, and he tried to strangle her, and they've made it through all of this.
If anyone in rock and roll would be able to be so above that he could escape by, it would probably be Ozzy.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
I mean, as we've even learned with Stone Temple Pilots guitarist Dean DeLeo, I mean, all those allegations that came out about him a couple months ago, which there was a follow-up like just a month or two ago where he's like, oh, none of that's true. Like that was his whole statement on it about abusing his wife and being on heroin and beating up his brother and all this kind of shit. I don't know. I just don't.
Well, I mean, you got to be fair. Spousal abuse and infidelity are two completely different things.
Well, I think what she did is abuse.
Right. That would constitute as abuse, but
Absolutely. Yeah, if it were a normal person or something like that, they'd just go to jail. But I mean,
Right,
you know,
I mean,
she's on the TV and she's well noted. Everybody knows about her. Everyone knows her, and you know, she just kind of gets away with it. And it's barely even a story. No one's even talking about it.
Right.
All that being said, Ozzy, he had a couple staph infections in his hand. He got a little cut or something just around his nail, and it turned into this whole fucking thing. He was in the hospital, and they had to like cut his hand open, and they had to like remove all the nasty shit out of there, like scrape it out and sew him back up, and he had to cancel a bunch of dates, and the dates have been quickly rebooked, and he is finishing out the rest of his tour, I think, as we speak. So that's the end of today's show. We are Tranquil Radio. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe, tell your friends, man, tell your friends, get word of mouth spreading around. Go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/TranquilRadio216. I'm Sean Ryan.
I'm Jimothy.
And you have a good night. Just the other day, they released a song. Why can't I speak normal? Just the other day, the Sleepkillers released a...
Just start splicing it, just like word by word. Just the other day.
The other
day.
That's the end of us.
That's the end.